Hello everybody, this is Datsun Obo. Welcome to Stay Inspired. Today on the show, I'm talking about how to set effective, realistic goals. How to set effective, realistic goals. I believe that this is definitely an important subject for any or every single one of us to consider, because it is important that we structure the things we want to do and then we develop goals with which we intend to achieve those things. So what is a goal? A goal is the state of affairs that a plan is intended to achieve, that when achieved, terminates behavior intended to achieve it. All right, so the first point I would like to talk about as we discuss setting effective, realistic goals, the first point I'll deal with today is that you need to determine the goal. What is the goal? All right, so what is the goal? Do you have it written down? You need to have clarity of purpose. Your goal must have a level of clarity. You must write it down. Your goal must have an objective. What are you trying to achieve? All right. The next thing is you must understand what the objective is. And point number 2 is you need to clarify the why. Why is it important for you to accomplish that goal? Now, it was said that you need to set a goal. You need to define the goal. You need to know what the goal is. The goal is an objective. And the next thing I'm talking about is you clarify the why. Why is it important to you? Why is it necessary for you to achieve your goal? When you consistently remind yourself of the why, it keeps you motivated. It keeps you inspired. Maybe you have a goal to have a college degree within the next 4 years, and your why may be that it is important that you have that degree that you can use in exchange for some form of monthly payment or a salary, if you may. And that is also important to you because you will be able to take care of yourself, and not just to take care of yourself, you're also able to take care of your family and do all the things that you want to do because you have a skill that you can use in exchange for money. So that might be your why. It's important that you identify what your why is. All right, let the why become your motivation, the reason for marching forward. Let it be that particular, when you think of the why, you keep moving forward in achieving those things that you want to achieve. And my point number 3 is, when do you want to achieve your goal? Your goal must have a timeline. Your goal must be measurable. You cannot have a goal today and say, well, my goal is to make 2 million naira within the next 10 years or within. You must have a time frame. You must set a particular timeline with which you intend to achieve your goal. So your goal must be achieved within specific timelines. You can say, for example, I want to buy a new car within the next 12 months. All right. And that 12 months, you've given yourself a time, and within the 12 months, you are able to save up the money. You're able to do certain businesses that would help you achieve that goal within the time frame that you have set for yourself. So you must set timelines, you must set deadlines, and you have to stick to them. That's how you achieve the goals that you set for yourself. And number 4, I think this is very, very important. No matter how fantastic your goal is, no matter how much you've defined what your goal is, you've clarified the why, you know why it's important to you, and then you've set a timeline, it's important that you create an actionable plan. We define a goal as something that a plan is intended to achieve. That's a goal. You must have an actionable plan and following the right direction. It's not about, a lot of people have intentions as to what they want to do, but it's not about you having good intentions. I tell people that when you have a good intention and you don't have a plan with which to execute that intention, it's as useless as it comes. All right, so people have ideas, but unless you convert the idea that you have into an actionable plan, you ultimately will not achieve the things that you desire to achieve. A lot of us have goals. I said it's not enough for you to have a goal. You must have a plan. How do you intend to achieve this goal? If your financial goal is to make ₦1 million every month, and that's 12 million naira at the end of the year, the question is how? What plans would you put in motion? What strategy would you put in motion to help you begin to achieve that particular goal that you intend to achieve? So the question is, how do you intend to get there? It's enough if I say, for example, I want to get to Lagos, but I don't know how to get to Lagos. Then my intent is in a questionable state, because it's not enough for me to have an intent. I have to know how to get there. So if you want to be a medical doctor, there's an actionable plan that you have to put in motion. Whatever it is that you want to become in life, there's actions that are required. There are steps that are required. Same thing with our goals. That if you set a goal today and you say, now I'm not a fan of New Year resolutions, because most times in my own experience, when people set that, or even times that I've had to set New Year resolutions, what happens is, well, towards the end of January, you discover that you haven't even begun to work on those things that you set as New Year resolutions. But I'm all for setting goals and the certain timelines for those goals, and being able to achieve those goals within the timelines that I've set, and being able to work on a plan to do something about what I intend to achieve. When I sit down, I've written my goal down, I know why it's important for me to achieve that goal, I've set a timeline, and now begin to write down strategies. Who do I need to speak to? Who do I need to connect with? Who do I need to partner with to help me fulfill this goal? Maybe it's a business goal or it's a personal goal. What books do I need to read? What education do I need? What new skills do I need to have? Those are questions that you need to answer when you are developing what your strategy is, or what your actionable plan is. And number 5, you have to follow the plan diligently. I understand that it's important that your plan or your strategy is not cast in stone. You can be flexible on your strategy, that's fine, but you need to follow your plan. All right. If you know why you need to do what you need to do, you've set the timeline, it's important, and then you have an actionable strategy in place. It's important that you follow the plan. It's important that you follow the plan. Whatever it is that we want to achieve with this life, there's always a roadway or roadmap. There's always a way to achieve the things that we desire to achieve with our lives. Follow the plan. And if the plan is not working, it doesn't mean that your goal is not achievable. It does not mean that your strategy probably might mean that your strategy is something that needs a little bit of fixing. And when you fix your strategy, you go back to following the strategy that you have put in place. I tell people that it's not enough for you to set a goal. If you set a goal that is attainable, if you set a goal that you have broken down into bits, into smaller bits, like if I take step A, I'm ready to take the next step. I'm ready to do step C, because I've already taken charge of the first 2 steps. All right, so there's a quote here that I said that it's not the man with a dream that wins in the end, but the man who is diligent in pursuing his or her dreams. I take that again. It's not the man who is not a man with a dream that wins in the end, but a man who is diligent in pursuing his or her dream. That's where it's important. I say that entrepreneurs have to be very, very resilient people. Resilience simply is the ability to spring back quickly into shape, because things will happen that will blow your plan out of the water. I'm talked about setting plans and putting strategies into motion, but there definitely might come things that will challenge those things. That's why it's important that you have to be resilient. You have to have the ability to spring back quickly into shape and adjust your strategy when needed or when necessary. My point number 6, and this is my final point for today, is be flexible. Your plan must not be cast in stone. Be flexible enough to work on it. Have contingency plans in motion. Prepare for eventualities. I already started talking about that, the challenges and things that will come up in your trying to achieve the things that you want to achieve. But because you are diligent, because you are consistent, because you show up every time, that is the quality or what makes champions. Champions are not those who do not necessarily have challenges, but champions are people who, in spite of the challenges that they go through, they're resilient enough, they keep coming back, they keep working on their strategy, they keep developing themselves, because they know that those are the things that help them achieve the goals that they have set for themselves. Finally, as I close this segment, I want to challenge you to associate with eagles, associate with people who truly inspire you, and associate with people. When you associate with people who have set goals for themselves and people who are actually doing those things, it motivates and inspires you to work on your own goals, because you know they're busy working on themselves, they're busy working their businesses, they're developing themselves in the place of their job. And those are the kinds of people you want to associate with, people who are like-minded people, people who would inspire you, and just observing their life and following them probably on Instagram or reading their books inspires you to do more, inspires you to want to do the things that you ought to do. Humility says, I don't know, teach me. The humble person is someone who is teachable. So it's important that you develop yourself, read books, attend seminars, attend workshops, do whatever is necessary. Invest in your own personal development. That's how you keep yourself inspired to accomplish the goals that you have set for yourself. All right, I hope you've taken a thing or two out of what I've been talking about today. So it's important that you begin to, as you're watching this video, get your pen and your paper out and begin to write down those goals. What is your goal? Identify the why, set timelines, set actionable plans, follow your plan until your goal has been achieved, and associate with champions. That's how you become a champion if you're not already one. So share this video with your friends, and you can send me comments or questions if you have any. As you're watching this video, you can drop me a message on the comment section or the comment box, and let's connect and get to hear from you. All right, so this show continues. I have a phenomenal coach and mentor who is going to be talking to us. You don't want to miss this. Stay with me. Hello everybody, welcome back. You're watching Stay Inspired with Datsun Obo on television Nigeria. And today on the show, I'm with a phenomenal coach and mentor, Dr. Benjamin Oekena. He is the CEO and founder at Regal Dental Clinic International, Abuja, since year 2000. He holds a Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from University of Lagos, fellowship in public health from Johns Hopkins University, Maryland, USA, and other postgraduate qualifications in business administration, nutrition, and financial literacy. Dr. Ben, as he is fondly called, is a serial entrepreneur with interest in healthcare, human development, training, marketing, publishing. He is a mentor to numerous startups and established entrepreneurs. He is a Herbert Humphrey Fellow, Secretary of the Nigerian Dental Association FCT branch, and member of the World Affairs Council, American Public Health Association, and many others. He is the founder of Personal Development Clinic, PDC, self-development support group that meets every fortnight to train and share knowledge and experiences on personal development of soft skills. Dr. Benjamin, thank you so much for taking the time out to honor us with your presence. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much, Datsun.
Okay, welcome, Doc. Now, this show is about staying inspired, all right? So as the name implies, stay inspired with Datsun Obo. So the first question I usually ask all our guests that come on the show is, how do you stay inspired? You know, because the things you do, there's so many things. I'll just let you talk about the things you do in a moment, but how do you stay inspired with all the things that you do?
Yes, so I really get inspired by the things I do, as you have reeled them out there.
Yeah.
My personal development activities, you know, my practice, and then I read a lot,
Okay.
and then I meet people. I use every bit of my time, you know, effectively,
Okay.
you know, to keep me going.
Okay.
So the general things I do keeps me inspired most of the time.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I would like for you to just tell us a little more about yourself. All right. Apart from what we've already gone through that you're involved in doing, let's get to meet you and hear your own story. You're an entrepreneur. You're a dental surgeon. You're a coach and mentor. How do you put all this together? Just tell us more about yourself, sir.
Yes, I seldom dabble into things. I orchestrate virtually everything I do.
Okay.
I started off, wanting to be pretty successful in the things I do. I started off with an ambition to be a dental surgeon in private practice,
Okay.
and to actually work among my people, work in Nigeria.
Okay.
And so I got the requisite training, through the University of Lagos, work a bit in the public service, and then before I set off to start my own practice.
Okay.
I practically chose Abuja,
Okay.
and after working in a few places, a few private practices, I decided to start my practice in the year 2000.
Okay.
In the city of Abuja, and I have a knack for acquiring new knowledge.
Okay.
And so I set off to improve my skills. I've been in and out of this country, trying to improve my skills. I do that practically all the time because you must be at cutting edge, in order to be able to satisfy the demands of your clients.
Okay.
And I'm a bit restless. You can see I'm pretty curious. I've dabbled into development studies, acquiring competencies in development studies, business administration, financial planning and literacy, nutrition, because I believe whatever provides value to people is what doing.
Okay.
So I feel I have so much to give out, and that practically lures me into seeing what I can provide to people. We started a personal development clinic about a year ago, and it's just a platform, an offline platform where we empower people with information that can help them achieve, human excellence. So of course, I'm married. I have two children that I love so dearly. So family also is something I cherish a lot. So I have to spend time with them, to also share some of those things I share with the greater society.
Wow.
Yes, because charity, they say, begins at home. And I also like meeting people who I can mutually exchange value with. So it's a potpourri of so many things.
Sir, there's something you said that really caught my interest when you, after your training as a dental surgeon, you went and you actually worked for other people before you set up your own practice. But as it relates to entrepreneurs, I find a lot of people say that I have an idea and bam, they're out trying to do something for themselves and they struggle through the process. Would you say that that's a no-no, that entrepreneurs should, develop ideas and start out, or they should also develop themselves working for other people?
I think it's very important you start with working for other people to understand the nuances of the industry you are interested in. For me, it was deliberate that I had to work with a public service so I can get public service experience. So I had a very short stint in public service, about 3 months, and then I set off to work in the private sector where I felt I could get the best of training. Deliberately I earmark 2 years to be in the private sector, learn both technical and business skills, because as an entrepreneur, you need to understudy somebody who is successful in your industry, so that you can learn from their failures and successes. Because most times people think they can do it alone. You need a mentor most times, because the mentor is going to help you avoid the mistakes they made and help you get to where you want to get to faster. So, and it really helped me a great deal. For instance, the last place I worked before setting up my practice made me really groom me, helped me hone my skills. And then I also learned the administrative aspects of managing a business, the management aspect of the business. And that when I was starting off, it was just as if I was continuing, yes, with my original responsibilities. So for me, starting off and taking a leap in the dark might be costly for any aspiring entrepreneur.
Yeah. Okay. Now, good thing you talked about starting up. You had experience from the public sector and you also went to the private sector, but you did start up. Now, there might be some entrepreneurs watching us today and they'll say, well, I have ideas, I've worked, or I even have a job, but I know it's time for me to actually start up something. But, that fear is always there. Like, what if I fail? What if I try to do it and it doesn't work? What would you say to such a person?
Yes, the best time to plant a bamboo tree. Yes. Yes. Some say it's good to plant the bamboo tree should be 20 years ago.
Wow.
Right? If you've not done that 20 years ago, it's better you do that now.
Okay.
If you have an ambition to be an entrepreneur and you're passionate about it, the best time is to start is now.
Okay.
Yes. If you have learned from people, at certain time you're going to learn from people.
Sure.
Yes. And some people say, okay, fine, I'm passionate about, for example, I want to start making clothes. I want, and when they come to me, I ask them, let me see what you've made on your own with your, within your limited resources. Have you done anything? Most times, you see, they have nothing to show. So I tell them, you're not passionate enough. And some of them, the people keep moving around. Say, okay, fine, I'm looking for capital. You don't need capital. What you need is passion. I recall when I was about starting, I had nothing, absolutely nothing.
I was actually going to ask you about
that.
Yes,
I had nothing. So, and I was working in a very good practice, and my take home was fantastic. But what I was doing then was to buy little tools and equipment and keeping them in my apartment. And when it was time to start, of course, to start a dental practice is capital intensive. I got somebody who locally fabricated my first set of equipment.
Wow.
You won't believe it. And when I resigned, so many people thought I was crazy. I didn't even have the money to pay rent. And I walked into a place. I just walked in. I told the owner of the hospital, I want to start.